Ezra Miller, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill and now Jason Momoa, it seems that there is no more place for the old guard in the new DCU, as James Gunn is dead set on moving forward under a brand new vision that will not include any of the old cast or their versions of the superheroes that they have portrayed. Now again, things might not be as black and white as we originally thought, and some actors might return as nothing has been 100% confirmed yet, but if you are a fan of Jason Momoa's Aquaman, things do not sound that good at the moment.
Cause I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all.
Jason Momoa's casting as Aquaman was received extremely well. He was loved by that point for playing Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones, and with that, he brought a certain charisma to the superhero who up until that point was not exactly very well respected by some of the DC fans. The first movie was wildly praised, and with that it also brought in a bunch of success. It is though the upcoming movie that brought about a lot more controversy and even a call for a boycott, but that is not because of the reasons that you might think. Now, every lead actor has a co-star, and unfortunately for Momoa, his co-star is Amber Heard, who was embroiled in a massive lawsuit where it was revealed that she was very abusive to her ex-husband, even cutting his finger off. Now, this brought about a lot of negative attention, and Johnny Depp's fan base by that point was out for blood after Depp himself lost all of his roles that he was involved in, including a Harry Potter spin-off, The Fantastic Beasts, and also obviously his most popular role, The Pirates of the Caribbean, where he played Captain Jack Sparrow. Now, the backlash against Heard and her character Myra was swift, and with it, the studio did agree that it was probably not a good move to move forward with her as Myra. The studio agreed that they would fire her and remove her from the movie altogether or largely cut her out of the project, but that was until Jason Momoa stepped up and said that there will be no movie going forward if they decided to cut Heard out. He put himself on the line and threatened to walk away from the project, and with that, Aquaman 2 will now move forward with Amber Heard as the co-star, although it is being heavily reported that the studio heads are deeply concerned over what that will mean for the movie, especially now considering how unpopular Amber Heard still is, and also with her now going for a retrial. Although even with all of that, not everything is as negative as it might sound.
I made out with so many girls. I made out with every girl in the world.
Now, when it comes to Jason Momoa specifically, as I've said, things are not as doom and gloom for him. His time as Aquaman might have come to an end, but his future in the DCU might still be very bright. Gunn and Safran are expected to meet with David Zaslav, the Warner Bros. Discovery CEO, to unveil their plan, which is not finalized and still in the works. A potential path forward would involve ending the Snyderverse, a series of the DCU movies directed by Zack Snyder that starred Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and also Ray Fisher. This potential path would see the shutting down of Man of Steel 2 with a returning Cavill and having no more Aquaman, a character fronted by Momoa. Now, Momoa along with Cavill are set to cameo in Flash, which is to be released on June 16, and it is now reportedly assumed that the characters might not have a cameo in the Flash movie after all. Now, with all of that said, even if Momoa did not return as Aquaman, he might still have an important part in the new plans for the DCU. One such scenario involves him leading another movie or franchise within the DCU, the main one being Lobo, an intergalactic rough around the edges bounty hunter. Now Lobo, a character considered an anti-hero in the DCU, fits the prototype of characters Gunn likes to play around with, the quirky and weird outsiders, as proven with Gunn's Suicide Squad and in his tenure with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Whatever the plans is moving forward, it is certain that Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom will be released. Now with that, it is also going to be interesting to see what is going to happen moving forward. Personally, I love Momoa as Aquaman, but I do also understand why it might not work going forward. I have said this previously, but James Gunn wants to move forward with his own version and his own vision of Aquaman, and currently the version of Aquaman that we are seeing right now is not his own. It is part of the old regime, and if DC wanted the old, they would have stuck with Snyder. They clearly wanted something new, a new direction, otherwise James Gunn would have never been hired. Now I understand that people might not like the new direction that Gunn wants to go in. I also understand that people have grown attached to this current set of actors, so have I, but I also think that change is good, even though it can sometimes be hard. Nobody wants to see their favorite actors leave, but even with all of these changes and recastings, I am still very excited to see what is going to happen going forward. I think the new DCU, despite all of the negative reports, is going to be extremely exciting to watch.